Hey guys, welcome to let's say an extended version of what you need to know. I am Malti Tisaida Sadek, an award-winning TV presenter with the Ghana Broadcasting Corporation. I've been a journalist for more than 7 years. I'm also the founder of an award-winning NGO, Multi Care International, and I also own African Game Changers and Let's Go North. I applied to Mandela Washington Fellowship using my work as a journalist and also my foundation, Multi-Care International, which deals in maternal health issues, raising awareness on fistula and how women should have access to better maternal health care in Ghana. This episode, the focus is going to be on how to apply for the Mandela Washington Fellowship. Well, this is not going to be as comprehensive as I wish it be because of the lack of time. The deadline is 10th September and it's just days away. So these are tips that you can use to look at your application and see if you have done certain things right or not and realign them. I put a more comprehensive one out there for those of you who will be applying next year and the years going on till, the age limit catches up with you. So I'm a Mandela Washington Fellow from 2021. I was a COVID baby and I couldn't go to the US because of COVID-19, but we had ours virtually and I was placed in Rutgers University in the civic engagement. Okay, so first off, when you're applying, you need to know where you fall. Do you fall in civic? Do you fall in business management? So you look at the tracks and then you choose the one that best suits what you do. So if you're a social entrepreneur, if you are into women in farming, if you are into health, if you are into maternal health, if you're a medical doctor, cancer issues, if you are a business person, then you look at the business track, where you look at smallholder farmers. You help them save money so that their lives will be better with their families, whatever it is. Choose a track that best fits the description of what you do. The second thing is that you have to know that Mandela Washington Fellowship is a fellowship that chooses leaders who are selfless in their community. So that's why not everybody qualifies, and a lot of people apply, and at the end they choose like 700 across the continent of Africa, and in Ghana they're likely to choose like 30 or more. So what do you do for your community? If you are somebody who is working in a government, public institution, a private institution, what else do you do that is not only profitable to you, that you don't only make money from, right? What's the impact? You want to look at is your digital footprints. So understand that when people post on social media, they're not just posting for fun, especially if you want to build your portfolio to become a leader, an African leader for that matter. African leaders are the Mandela, who the fellowship was named after Nelson Mandela, the great Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, former President John Agyekum Kufuor of Ghana, who is one of the US fellowship alumni or a fellow, and he's gone to the US, one of the programs of the US Department of State. And there are many, not just Mandela Washington, but our focus is on the Yali, right? So what are your digital footprints? You've done something for your community. You distributed 500 bags of maize for widows and their children. Where is the evidence that you did that? That's the fact to look out for. Is the evidence out there on social media? Have you written a story about it? Did any credible media house publish it? That's the fourth thing. So your digital footprints matter in every small thing that you do. I know that sometimes leaders tend to say, well, I'm not doing these things for people to clap for me, pat me on the back, so I really don't care, I'm just donating. If you want to get into such leadership positions, if you want to be recognized by the US Department of State, to have the signature of the Secretary of State on your certificate, to go to the US for 6 weeks and meet investors and business partners and funders, or people who fund your enterprise, you need to deliberately do these things. Deliberately put yourself out there. Thing you want to look out for is What have you said on social media that's probably not sitting well with the US government? So human rights issues, so you have to be careful. If there's stuff like that that you have out there, go and look at them again. And if you don't have any stuff like that and you are planning to apply, well, see what you write on social media. The US loves activism. They love pushing for a cause. They love fighting for vulnerable groups. They love fighting for minority groups. And I do that a lot on my social media, So with whatever you're doing, if it is activism in the right direction, do support you or select. Let's look at the form when you're filling it. You may be asked questions about what you do. Maybe you're a doctor, but you run a social enterprise, that's an NGO that's into giving children footwear in the villages or in the rural communities. So you're wondering, should you apply as a doctor or should you apply as the owner of an NGO? Apply with everything. Brag as much as you can. Let them know all the things that you do. If there's something else you even do aside from being a doctor and an NGO owner or a volunteer at an NGO, add it all. Add everything. Everybody, that's the sixth thing. The seventh thing is everybody is unique and has their own story. So you cannot copy somebody's essay. When you get to the interview stage, your story reflects on some of the questions they will ask you. So when I filled my form, my upbringing and everything was part, and it was a different journey from what your journey will be and how it will appeal to the judges or whoever is going through your application. The interview, as I mentioned, when you go for the interview, be as confident as you can be. Sometimes you may be getting replies that seem like you may have to go and apply next year, or better prepare and come. Be confident about it. Whatever you've written in the essay is what they may be asking you. So if you're not confident about it, it means that you stole the apple from somewhere or something. So you have to own what you wrote and be able to convince them that this is your journey, this is your personal story, this is your impact. You want to look out for is if you have an old Mandela Washington, an alumni of the fellowship, ask them to just take a peek at your essays and see what you have done, whether it falls in line and it really answers the questions. Respect the number of the limits they've given to the essays you should write. Respect the number, and also make sure that you avoid grammatical errors. Write your essays professionally. If you are using any AI app, still modify it for it to have a human feeling to it. Tell you, do not take it for granted, because there are people who will be reading these essays. Real people, not AI robots or AI bots. Well, if you put all of this in order, I hope that you will be able to make it to the interview stage of Mandela Washington Fellowship. And if you don't, you may be able to do that in the next year. So you keep applying. Remember that every region you come from, there's something unique about there. A lot of people from the north get into the Mandela Washington Fellowship because of the development disparity between the north and the south. But even if you come from the south and you are shining light still on vulnerable people in your community, tell your story and you may be a fellow, so that tomorrow you make bigger impacts in Ghana, in Africa, and the world. So I wish you the best of luck. I'll do a more comprehensive one about this and put it on my YouTube channel. Please subscribe to the channel and share this video to all our young Africans across the globe, so that they will be able to apply for the fellowship. You must be seen, you must be heard. Viva Africa. Thank you. Bye.